Oh, welcome to Game Faces coverage of Outer East Division 1 B grade netball here at Belgrave Reserve. Here's Yay with the centre pass going to the right-hand side of your screen, Belgrave to the left. It was Emma Toulson with the first centre pass, and on that occasion, the pass from Broderick being turned over, currently in the hands of Gray. And now with Gawley, good pass to Gabel, who puts through the first goal of the afternoon. Good start there for Belgrave, scoring against the centre pass. So once again, Gawley out of the centre, doing well with the pass on that occasion to Smith. Smith again, pass comes wide. Gawley just kept it in play, searches around. Did well coming back on that occasion to Gray, and once again Gabel, already with one goal in the afternoon, puts through the second. And a 2-0 start for Belgrave. So the centre pass once again here with Toulson. Then coming back there to Broderick. Cox it was, in fact. Now they're inside the attacking 30, yeah. So it's currently in the hands of Spagnolo, and that's a good pass. Fighting Alders. And now they can go back the other way. So Gawley with it. Laterally on that occasion there to Schultz. And then inboard to Carroll. Waits around, then Gawley. Carroll once more. Gawley again. Good pass. Turned over, is it momentarily? Knocked forward on this occasion by Cox. Just couldn't keep the ball in play, and it comes back to Gawley. It goes back on that occasion there to Carroll. So Gray once again. Waite puts it up, and that's a good pass. And finds Smith, who can put through the third goal of the afternoon for Belgrave. 3-0 they are. And then once again comes back to Gawley. So Gawley, Gray, quickly finds Smith, and then over the top to Gabel, and just like that, Belgrave have 4 goals. 4-0 it is, so once again, Toulson in the centre. Pass comes out to Spagnolo. And that'll come back to Broderick. Broderick shorts the pass nicely to Toulson. Comes back to Broderick, and then again for Toulson. Moves a bit further on this occasion to Alders. And then knocked through the hands, but once again, Toulson just fired the pass off too quickly. And Belgrave can move out of defence. So this is Schultz. Or not, stays with Yay on this occasion. So Christie can line up the Tigers' first shot at goal, but unable to put it through. And this occasion it will be Schultz with the ball. So Schultz comes out wide. Good pass on that occasion to Carroll. Or Gabel it was, in fact. And then coming inboard to Anna Carroll. And they can work this one out. And Gabel can't quite put through the goal, but she is going to find another opportunity. And Christina Gabel on this occasion puts it through and makes it 5-0. So once again to the centre for Gawley. Quickly on to Smith, then Gray. Gray, back to Smith, and Gray once again, happy to wait just a moment. Smith, inboard to Gawley. Gawley and Gabel cleverly in the one hand. Can make it 6 goals. Not with the first attempt. And not quite with the second attempt either. Well, in fact, it was. There you go. So 6 goals it is. Very subtle, that one. So once again, back in the centre for Toulson, who just came out to Broderick. And inside the attacking third they go. So this is Christie all the way back to Broderick. Toulson. Broderick for a third time. Tries to go out wider. Was looking for Spagnolo, but pass flies over the head and it'll be taken by Schultz. Schultz had a longer option there of Anna Carroll, but it's going to come back for the Tigers. This will be Spagnolo. With ball in hand, comes back to Christie. Spagnolo. And now Alders has got it. And Alders puts it through. There we go. First goal for Yay. 1-6 it is. So once again, back in the centre. Just breaking too early there were the Tigers. So it comes back to Anna Carroll. Smith. Gawley. Has Gabel over the top. Finds her. And now Gabel can make it 7-1. And makes no mistake. So it's a good start at the moment for the Magpies. Toulson All the way back to Cox. And then Spagnolo, Christie. Back to Spagnolo. Christie for a second time. So much needed goal. Doesn't find its way through. So it'll come back to Schultz of Belgrave. Schultz the pass to Carroll, and now they can get the ball moving currently through the hands of that occasion there of Irene Gabel, and now they're on the counter-attack. Spagnolo has options backwards and decides to go for one. This is Cox. Toulson back to Cox. And now Christie. Good long pass. It wasn't Christie, sorry, it's Alders. This is Christie. And pass is slightly affected. Good work on that occasion by Gabel. It's another opportunity for Christie, and on this occasion puts it through. Important one, that one for Yeh, as it comes back once again for Gawley in the centre. Short pass to Smith, much longer one this time to Gray. Gabel has front position, doesn't take the shot at goal, but the little rebound comes back to her. Tracking it back is Gabel. Goes laterally to Gray, has Smith up ahead, but in the end decided Gabel was the better option. And put through another one, so 2 goals to 8. And continuing on a good start here for Belgrave. So once again, Spagnolo got the pass there from Toulson. Spagnolo once more, Christie. So Christie already with 1 goal in the afternoon and unable to put that one through. Schultz doing well on the last line. This is Gabel. Short pass is a good one. Carroll. Schultz again. Lateral pass is a good one. Irene Gabel currently with ball in hand. Pops it over the top nicely. Gawley's got it once again. Smith and now Gabel. And there is another goal. And we are back in the centre once more. So Gray gets it from Gawley, then lateral in that occasion to Carroll. Gabel. Another lateral pass, just taking it cleanly there was Gawley, but the pass a little bit errant. It's going to be tracked back on this occasion. Nicely done there. As they can move the ball around. Can the Tigers, so Alders came all the way back on that occasion. To Broderick, long pass off the hands on that occasion of Gawley. So it comes back for Toulson. Long pass here from Alders, but just going to beat Christie and finds its way out of play. So Schultz on the last line. Has options up ahead, finds Gawley, did that one nicely, then popped it over the top to Gabel. Long pass looking for Smith. Contact was given away there by Cox. So long pass there from Carroll, and Gabel once again in good position. Makes it 8 goals a difference. 2 goals to 10 it is. And tracking along nicely at the moment. The Tigers. So it's currently in the hands there of Broderick. Much longer pass. Got to be kept in play by Toulson. Knocks it in, but Gawley was right there to receive it. Carroll. Long pass through the middle of the court. Finds Smith, then comes back to Carroll. Here is Gawley. Gabel directs traffic. Out it comes to Gray. Hand in there on that occasion from Broderick, but it just comes out of play. So currently in the hands of Smith. Has the short option of Gawley. Goes for it as well. Smith once again and Gabel. Can make it 9 goals a difference and she puts it through. 11-2 it is. So once again, Gawley in the centre. And this time it's Belgrave just breaking too early. So Broderick off wing defence laterally to Spagnolo. Toulson. Christie. Doesn't like the options. Comes back to Spagnolo. Fires it into Alders. Interesting pass. Going to be cut off, is it? Comes back and, pass from Alders just came out a bit too quickly and Christie didn't see it coming. So it comes back. Schultz has got it. And now Schultz has taken too long. So a comedy of errors at the moment, this last minute or so. So Abby Christie, short pass, good one to Spagnolo, and now she can line them up, and Christie puts it through. And much needed goal there for the Tigers. So it's Toulson with the centre pass. And once again, Belgrave just breaking a little bit too early. So this is Cronk who's come onto the court. Now Christie once again, who scored a goal moments ago, puts through another one. And had a good couple of minutes as Abby Christie gets back-to-back goals for the Tigers. 4 goals to 11 it is out of the centre. Gawley quickly to Smith and then Gray. Waits a couple of moments, comes back to Smith. And now Gabel. And Gabel puts it through. There we go. Back to 8 goals the difference. 12-4. Once again, Toulson in the centre. Comes out to Alders. Spagnolo. Toulson. Christie. Doesn't like the original spot, so she'll come back. And this occasion, Christie puts it through. 12-5. Still a handy 7-goal margin for Belgrave. Gawley once again with the centre pass. Quickly to Gray. Gray back to Gawley, who provided the option. Comes forward to Smith. Gray and Smith, a couple of 1-2s, and now Smith can line them up and reaffirm the 8-goal margin, but Cox did well enough. So it comes back to Daniel. Daniel, Cox. Once again, Daniel. Long pass, looking for Cronk, but it's through the hands and it's going to come back. So once again, Carroll, short pass to Gabel, pops it over the top to Gawley, but in the end it found its way to the hands of Smith, comes back to Gabel. Gawley this time, Smith. Knocked away, Smith recovered it well, and Gabel, once again with best position, puts it through and gets it back to an 8-goal difference. So Toulson again in the centre. Good pass, Spagnolo, Christie. Lateral pass is a good one once again to Toulson, and now Alders. Pass, shot at goal looks slightly affected, didn't matter. Still finds its way through. 6-13 it is. So once again, Gawley quickly to Smith, fires a bullet into Gray, and then she just pops it over the top cleverly. And once again, Gabel gets the responding goal for Belgrave. 14-6 it is now. So once again, out of the centre they go. Outers collected well. Spagnolo, Christie did well. Just found a bit of room and puts through another goal. So it's 14-7. Gawley out wide to Gray. Good one to Smith, and just couldn't keep it in play, Gabel, so it'll come back to Daniel. Options up ahead, finds Toulson. Cox. Spagnolo just passed it straight to Gabel in the end. Back it comes. So Carroll's got ball in hand for the moment. Short pass to Smith. Back to Carroll. Pops it over the top. Gray collected it nicely. And then just go short again to Smith. Smith back to Gray. Gray. Gawley. And now Gabel once again on the end of it. So another opportunity here for Belgrave. Falls out, knocked away and collected nicely by Toulson. Goes short to Cox. Now it's going to come back once again. So Smith. So Cronk's got ball in hand suddenly. Cox goes back to Cronk. Long pass is a good one. Currently in the hands of Alders. Back to Cronk. And now Spagnolo. Christie. Little short pass on this occasion. Comes back to Alders from Spagnolo, and Alders can't put it through, and Schultz does well on the last line. Gets the ball moving. This is Gawley. Has Carroll as a lateral option. Goes for it. And it comes back to Schultz. Schultz, Gabel. Long pass up the court is a good one. Currently in the hands of Gawley, and Smith came through. Decided to pass it back, and she's got it once more. This time she'll have the shot at goal, Smith, and this time puts it through. 8 goals the difference, 7-15. Lateral pass, a good one. Alders comes back inboard to Spagnolo. Cronk fires one into Christie. Lateral, and that's dangerously done. Didn't work out at all. It's going to come back the other way. Belgrave on the counter-attack. Carroll comes back to Gawley. Good long pass. Gabel's got front position, but decides to go to Smith. Gawley, couple of 1-2s now. Gabel. Once it can get this back to 9 goals, and she does just that. 7-16. And Belgrave still off to a really good start. So once again, Gawley. Smith laterally to Gray. Gray back to Gawley. Short one again to Gray. And then just come short to Smith. And that'll do us quarter time. Good start for Belgrave. 16-7 is the score. A handy 9-goal margin for the home side. We'll take a short break for quarter time. When we come back, it's Toulson with the centre pass. It's Belgrave by 9 goals. Alders, Spagnolo, Christie. Takes it cleanly. Got a bit of contact anyway and just can't quite put it through. So Gabel and Schultz are switched. Goalkeeper and goal defence. Gabel looks for Carroll, finds her and then pops it over the top to Schultz. Schultz wanted to go to Carroll, but decided to go to Gawley. Good long pass up the court, worked out just fine, but through the hand, Smith was there, and it's cut off. So now they can come back the other way. Spagnolo did well, long pass. Gabel attacked it, and eventually wins it back for Belgrave. Good pass, Gawley onto Smith. Smith, Schultz. Back to Smith. Pass worked out pretty well there. And Gabel, who started pretty well, but couldn't quite put it through, and doing on the last line was Daniel. She found Cox, and now Cronk up the court's a good one. Spagnolo, long pass. Christie, Cronk, Spagnolo. Alders, back to Spagnolo, quickly just palmed it back to Alders. And now Christie's got it. So this for the first goal of the second quarter for EA, and Christie puts it through. So a good start there for the Tigers. 8-16 the score. They get one back. So Gawley once again with a centre pass. Does well to Hargraves. He's come onto the court. So Gawley. Toulson, Cronk. Has Cox the lateral option eventually. Come back, but it just took too long. So Carroll, Gawley. And now Gabel doesn't have the shot at goal. Here is Smith. Smith and Gabel just gets back. And gets it back to a 9-goal margin. 8-17 the score. So once again, Toulson came out wide to Spagnolo. Back to Cronk. Cronk fires one in longer. Christie did well. Took it nicely. Alders just kept it in play. And Alders, can she get the responding goal? No, she can't. Gawley on the counter-attack. Carroll across to Schultz. Back to Carroll. Has Gawley the long option, finds her as well. And here is Gabel, who can make it 10 goals the difference for Belgrave. And she does just that, 8-18. So really started this game nicely, have the Magpies. And bringing that into the second quarter. So Gawley once again with the centre pass. Finds Smith. Hargraves. And does well once again to Gabel, who can make it 11 goals the difference. And once again puts it through, 8-19 the score. So once again back in the centre. Short pass is a good one. Popped over the top there from Spagnolo to Christie. Looking for Alders and finds her. And Alders puts it through. Back to 10 goals, 9-19 the score. So once again we're back in the centre. Short pass is a good one. Smith wasted no time to find Hargraves. And here is Gabel. Another quick goal coming up for Belgrave. Gabel puts it through, 9-20 the score. So out of the centre once again, Alders. Got it from Toulson, and Christie stood tall. Clinches onto it and puts through the goal. And another quick response. So goals coming very easily here at the moment. Doing well was Gawley onto Smith, and then Hargraves comes back to Smith. Lateral pass is a good one, back to Gawley. And now Smith won't have the shot at goal, just cleverly puts it up for Gabel, who puts it through. 21-9 reads the scoreboard, so once again we're back in the centre. Cronk, Alders. Looking for Schultz. So once again Cronk. Lateral pass from Toulson to Alders. Comes back once again for Toulson. Here is Christie, who decides to have the shot at goal. It falls short. Schultz spilled it, but in the end Gabel took control. So Gabel does nicely, comes out. Here is Carroll, knocked away by Toulson, kept in by Schultz, and then eventually found Carroll. Good pass. It wasn't Carroll, sorry, it was Gawley. This is Hargraves, knocked away by Cronk. Alders on the end of it. Cronk once again involved. Long pass. Good pass it was as well. Christie in the right position. Doesn't get the first attempt. But Abby Christie puts through the second and gets another goal back there for Yay. So 10-21, once again in the centre. Pops it over the top nicely here. Hargraves, Gabel. Doesn't put it through, knocked away by Daniel. So Smith. Short pass comes back, so Gabel did nicely. And puts through another goal. Once again, back to 12 goals the difference, 10-22. Toulson. Spagnolo, Christie. Searches around, just comes back momentarily. Good one. Spagnolo back to Toulson. Toulson just couldn't find the option she liked. So back it comes to Gabel. Gawley, Schultz, Hargraves. Good pass on that occasion from Smith. Just put too much on it. And a little reprieve for the A defence. So this will come back to Daniel. Daniel, Cronk, back to Daniel. Long pass, dangerous one slightly, but it worked out in the end for Toulson. Cronk once more. Longer pass this time works out. Alders onto Spagnolo through the hands of Schultz. And here is Christie, who just fades away slightly and kept in by Alders. Nicely done, Toulson. Christie once again comes across. Doesn't put this one through, and eventually Schultz wins it back for Belgrave. So once again, they can work it around Belgrave on the counter-attack. Gawley comes back to Carroll. Good pass this time to Hargraves. Had to get up the right time and did. Carroll once again involved. Good pass. Works out just fine to Gawley. Here is Smith, who hasn't done a lot of the goal scoring today. And looks like another opportunity for Gabel. It did come off the hands there of Daniel. So once again, Gabel puts it through. 12 goals the difference, 11-23 the score. So Gawley back in the centre does nicely. This is Hargraves, laterally to Carroll. Then inboard to Gawley. Once again, Gabel just gets it under her control. Knocked away by Daniel, tracked back by Smith. And Gabel puts through another one, back to 13 goals the difference, 24-11. And back in the centre for Toulson. Just comes back momentarily to Cox. Spagnolo, nicely done to Alders, and here is Christie. Oh, gee, that would have been some goal if she got that. Off balance and wasn't too far off. Gabel. Schultz. Gabel involved again. Long pass this time's a good one to Gawley, then comes laterally back to Schultz. Inboard to Carroll. Hargraves. Eventually finds Gawley, who looks for Gabel and finds it. And this to make it 14 goals the difference. And Christina Gabel puts through another one. And a little swap here, Gawley and Gray coming onto the court into the centre position this time. Good pass to Carroll, did well. It wasn't Carroll, so it was Hargraves to not step into the circle. And now Gabel puts through another goal, make it 15 goals the difference. 11-26 it is now. It's Toulson. Once again with the centre pass duties, comes laterally once again. Good pass, but it's not going to work out. Carroll, interesting one, cut off by Cox. And now Belgrave on the counter-attack, but it's over the head of Spagnolo. Gabel. Good one to Carroll. Finds it out wide, done nicely there to Hargraves. And that one goes through. Nicely done by Smith. So Gray comes out there to Smith, and then Hargraves has Gabel, but comes back to Smith. So 11-27 reads the scoreboard, and Gabel with another opportunity here makes it 17 goals the difference, 28-11. Really starting to come away now. Alders, just controlled in the end there by Spagnolo. Doing well to find Hayes, who's come onto the court. Hayes finds Alders. And puts it through, 12-28 the score. 16 goals the difference at the moment. Donna Gray in the centre. Here is Gabel. Gets it from Smith. And just like that, instant reply. Back to 17 goals, 29-12 it is. So Cronk's moved into the centre. Just going short with a pass on that occasion. As they work it around, it's Broderick who's come back onto the court. Hayes. Good one, and Alders on the end of this one. Puts it through, gets it back to 16 goals, 13 to 29. So Gray in the centre once again. Smith fires it into Hargraves, and Cabell cleverly at the back. Another goal coming up for Belgrave, you would think. Ooh, just fake the pass nicely to Cabell to Smith, and Smith doesn't put it through. There we go. So the old commentator's curse has kicked in. Shouldn't have spoke. So Daniel to Cox. Back to Daniel. Cox again. Has Broderick up ahead. Eventually finds her. Broderick, long pass. It'll work out fine to Alders. Waits around through the hands of Schultz. So this is Hayes. Looks pretty good. Not going to work out in the end. It falls into the hands of Schultz. Cabell. Good long pass to Carroll. Waits a moment. Fires it in nicely. The ball just continues to work its way around. Hargraves on the way back. Carroll did nicely. This is Smith. Gray. Comes forward to Smith and knocked away by Daniel. Broderick tried to track it back, and eventually Smith finds it with a shot at goal. Not good, and in the end Daniel cuts it off. Just went short with a pass to Cox. It comes back to Daniel. Oh! So quick interchange here. Tamara Winch coming onto court. Broderick, who seems to be okay, umpire just concerned with the head, so concussion protocols also always have to be followed as we continue play. And here is Cabell, who doesn't get this one. Cox eventually gets under control. It was Cronk in the end, and now it's got to come back. So Hargraves did well to Smith, who eventually finds Cabell, who puts that one through. Back to 17 goals, 13 to 30 the score. So once again, this is Cronk. Fires it into Hayes. Hayes didn't quite make that one work. So Cindy Hayes once again. Can she find Alders? Yes, she can. Cleverly collected in the one hand, and Alders just can't quite put it through, and Schultz did nicely. So back it comes once again. Did well to find Carroll. Schultz. Good pass up the court to Smith. Had Hargraves, but decided against it. Hargraves hasn't now. Could have gone to Gabell. Decided against it. And eventually Smith finds her, and Gabell puts it through. And it's 18 goals the difference, 13 to 31. So once again, Gray. Smith. Could go back to Gray. Decides to do that in the end. Smith again. Gray once more. Short pass. Good one. And here is Gabell. And Gabell puts it through. Make it 19 goals the difference. 32 to 13 it is. So once again, Cronk out of the centre to Alders. Winch. Knocked away but kept in the end by Spagnolo. Hayes collected it nicely. Cronk goes back to Hayes, who lines him up and just can't quite put it through. So Hayes on this occasion. So it comes back to Hayes, who puts it through this time. Gets one back for Yay. 14 to 32 the score. So Gray in the centre. Pops it over the top nicely. Here we go. Gabell puts it through. There we go. 14 to 33. So once again in the hands of Spagnolo. Hayes out wide. Here is Cronk. Puts it up and Alders did nicely. And hasn't worked out. Cabell pops it over the top to Gray. Comes laterally to Schultz. Schultz. Carroll waits. Long pass. Good pass. To Cabell. Then comes out to Smith. Gray. And Cabell did nicely. Once again, just collects it in the one hand. And puts it through. There we go. Back to 20 goals the difference it is now. Biggest lead of the game, 14-34. So once again, Gray. Smith. Short pass is a good one. Carroll waits for a bit of contact given away there by Winch. And that'll do us for half-time in the match of the round. Division 1B grade netball between half action underway. It is Toulson. Lateral pass comes to Cox. It was affected, though, by Smith. It worked out in the end, though. Toulson once again comes back. So Broderick, Hayes. Worked out well there to Spagnolo. She finds Alders. And Alders puts it through. There we go. So first goal of the second half coming the way of Yay. Getting it back to 19 goals the difference. Good pass. Smith. Did it well to Hargraves through the hands of Gabel, but eventually she recovers it. And Gabel puts it through. And instant reply there for Belgrave. It was, sorry, in fact, 20 goals, 15-35. Worked out well there. Spagnolo found Hayes. Lateral pass back to Toulson. Spagnolo. Hayes, Alders eventually controls it. Couple of momentary fumbles. Alders doesn't put it through. Gabel did well on the last line. Long pass is a good one. That occasion there finding Gawley through the hands of Carroll. Didn't matter. A little fake, you could almost call it there to Smith. Then it comes back to Hargraves, and here is Gabel. This to make it 21 goals the difference, and she does just that. Biggest lead of the game. So 15-36. Smith did well. This is Hargraves. Wanted to go to Smith, eventually does just that. Comes back, knocked away from Gawley, but not legally. Little contact came through. And now Smith just presenting the best option, and Gabel came in, stole it from her and puts it through nonetheless. So once again, back to Toulson in the centre. Spagnolo, Hayes presented nicely. Decides to come back nearly, didn't work out, but just through the hands there of Hargraves. So it stays with the Tigers. Spagnolo once again, been busy. Toulson looks up ahead, but decides to come back to Cox. Anyone's ball now. Knocked away by Smith, and that's worked out just fine. Carroll, long pass, had too much on it. That's a little reprieve here for the Tigers. So Broderick inboard to Cox. Toulson, Alders. Short pass is a good one. Spagnolo, Hayes. Toulson, back to Hayes. Looks trying to put it up there for Alders. Decided against it. Now Alders did well. Finds herself in the right spot. Gets it back to 21 goals. 16-37. So back in the centre once again. It was affected momentarily. Didn't matter. Hargraves recovered it nicely. Here is Smith. Short pass is a good one. Gawley. Smith again. Won't have the shot at goal. Just sets it up nicely for Gabel. He finishes off the job. Gets it back to 23 goals the difference. 38-15. So once again, Alders. Quick play here once again from Yay, and Alders drops it on through and gets another goal. 38-17. Once again, good one. Hargraves. Right on the circle here. Cox did well enough. There we go. Good defensive work there from Lily Cox. It'll come back to Cronk. Good pass. Nicely done on that occasion there by Broderick through the hands, and going to still stay with the Tigers for the moment. So this is Spagnolo. Finds Hayes. Wanted to come back inboard. Eventually all the way across to Spagnolo, and Alders with front position did well. And there should be another goal coming up for Yay, and it is. So tracking along nicely with the Tigers. A couple of goals in a row here. Alders got it from Toulson. Here is Hayes, Spagnolo. Oh, just didn't quite pull off the pass. It was nicely cut off by Schultz. Gawley's got it now. Schultz once again controlled it nicely. Waits a couple of moments. Eventually comes out wide to Smith. Then short again to Gawley. Gawley through the hands and comes out of play. So Smith did well. Here is Gabel. Cronk comes out wide, did nicely. Went to Toulson, then Toulson back to Cronk. Here is Broderick. Cronk. Broderick did well, controlled it nicely. Here is Alders. Could have gone short to Spagnola. Eventually she does, and then a couple of 1-2s with Hayes. And Cindy Hayes doesn't put it through, but Alders can find a second opportunity for Yay, and she puts it through. Just doing nicely at the moment. Back to 19 goals the difference, 38-19. Good pass, that works out just well. Long pass on this occasion, knocked away. Not legally though by Toulson. Here is Cabell. Now they just get a response here to Belgrave. One that they definitely needed. So Winch has come back on for Broderick. Alders. Here is Winch now right on her measure. Toulson comes out to Hayes. And that's a good pass. Once again, Alders having a good quarter. Presents the option and puts it through for another goal. Back to 19 goals the difference, 20-39, sorry, 19 goals the difference. Hargraves, lateral to Smith, could have gone back to Hargraves, but found Gawley instead. Here is Gabel, who puts it through once more. So once again, 20 goals the difference, the way of Belgrave, 40-20. Toulson, passes affected, didn't matter. Spagnolo recovered it. Hayes, short pass is a good one. Spagnolo, Hayes once again, looking for Alders, who's being double teamed. Anyone's ball comes off hands. Hayes doesn't want to have the shot at goal. Might this time, still finds Alders, who just got a bit of contact. And Rhiannon Alders does well, gets the goal. Once again, back to 19 goals the difference. Smith got it from Gawley. Gray's back on the court. Gray fires it out to Smith. So back-to-back contact calls here. Gawley. Cabell did well. Controlled it in between two Yay defenders. Doesn't find the goal with the first opportunity, but does with the second. So once again, back to 20 goals. 41-21. Spagnolo to Hayes. Comes back to Toulson. Could have gone back to Hayes, but does well. Finds Alders, who wants to get it to Hayes, and I think she just got a bit of contact there. Did Cindy Hayes, so she'll be brought forward. And then just a little underground pass to Alders just to get it a bit closer. And Alders finishes off the job once again. Back to 19 goals the difference. So Gawley out of the centre to Gray. Short pass. Carroll did nicely. Smith back to Gawley, who goes back to Smith once again. That pass is affected by Cox. Is it kept in? Yes, it is, but by Gray. So once again, knocked away. And Cabell on the end of it. Puts that one through and gets it back to 20 goals the difference once again. 22-42. Alders all the way back to Cox. Looking for Toulson. Yeah, just came off the hands of Smith. So Cox assessing the options, did well eventually to Winch. Pops it over the top nicely to Toulson. Here is Hayes. Could have gone the short option of Toulson, but it's Winch once again. Spagnolo, Alders collected it nicely in between a couple of Belgrave defenders. Now Spagnolo once again just misfires with a pass. Yeah, just let off the hook slightly here are the Belgrave defence. So this is Irene Gabel. Carroll looks ahead, over the head of Schultz, but it'll work out just fine to Gawley. Just lets it bounce in front of her. Smith back to Gawley. Gabel at the back, nicely done. And puts her another goal, back to 21 goals the difference. So Gawley out of the centre to Smith. And it'll come back to Carroll. Carroll, Gray. Cleverly done to Gawley. Once again, Smith puts it up and Gabel, this time with front position, puts it through for another one. Back to 22 goals, the difference. 22 to 44. So once again, out of the centre is Toulson to Winch. Just gets the one-hander away to Hayes, and that's a good one. Finding Elders, who doesn't quite put it through, and Schultz does nicely off the post. Good pass, slightly affected by Toulson. Did she keep it in play? Yep, umpire calls him to go. Here is Elders, got nothing at home, all the way back to Winch. Goes laterally in the end to Spagnolo, and Elders with another opportunity at goal and puts this one through. Gets it back to 21. 44 to 23. So doing nicely there with Schultz. And Smith just can't quite control it. So a bit of a let off for the A defence. This is Cronk. Short one to Winch. Cronk again, Winch again. Get further up the court this time to Toulson. Winch for a third time. Good one to Cox. Winch for a fourth. Now Hayes. Good pass, weighted well there to Spagnolo. Hayes once again involved. And decides to come back towards through the hands of Christie. And it's going to come out of play. So another couple of changes. So Daniel comes on for Cox. Good pass worked out just fine there to Gawley. Finds Schultz. Schultz out wide. Good one there to Smith. Gabel didn't control it. And now Gabel once again puts that one through. Gets it back to 22 goals the difference. 45 to 23. And that pass works out in the end. Hayes just keeping it in play. Comes back to Spagnolo. This is Christie. Shot at goal. Whose hand was it off? Gabel kept it in play. Eventually Schultz gets on the end of it. Dangerous one. Spagnolo forces the turnover. Here is Hayes. Hasn't really looked to score too often, Hayes, but she will on this occasion and puts it through. There we go. Touchdown a goal there for Yeh. So Gray out of the centre does nicely. Gabel got it from Smith. And Gabel doesn't quite put it through, and Cronk's right there in the last line. Finds Toulson. Short pass to Winch. Winch comes back to Cronk. Once again, Winch. Unsure where to go. Decides to come back to Cronk. Cronk through the hands of that occasion. Oy. So this is Carroll. Long pass finds Smith. Gawley has the short option of Gabel. Decided against it, but eventually finds its way to her. And this one will go through as well. 6 to 24 the score. 22 goals the difference. Once again in the centre for Toulson. Christie. Short pass again back to Toulson. Here is Hayes, presented nicely. Waits around and then all the way back to Winch, right on a measure. Hayes, Toulson, Spagnolo. Christie calls for it. The pass might have too much. Can Christie keep it in? Yes, she can. Cleverly done to Spagnolo. Hayes has got it this time. She will line them up, Hayes, and not with the first attempt, but she's going to get a second crack, Hayes, and this time puts it through. Back to 21 goals the difference. Oh, you're back. So working around at the moment, this is Gawley. And that'll work out just fine. Winch. Comes back to Cronk. Winch once again. Good pass. Might work out okay. Yep, Christie does well to keep it in. Comes back to Daniel. Spagnolo. Had Hayes. But found Christie. So Hayes tries to find her way through. Eventually just goes out to Spagnolo. Hayes once again. Spagnolo again. Just got a bit of contact, and now Hayes could line them up. Whose hand was it off? Contact given away by Gabel, said the umpire. And Christie puts it through. Back to 20 goals of difference, 26 to 46, back-to-back goals for Yay. Christie, short pass is a good one. Here is Hayes, all the way out there on that occasion to Tilson. Hayes once again involved. Goes a little underground pass to Tilson. Now Hayes once more. Could make it 3 goals in a row for Yay. Christie kept it in. And they'll get another chance here. Well, Yay, just a bit of contact given away there by Schultz, and Christie this time doesn't score the goal, and Schultz did well. Long pass. Carroll, unsure where to go, but finds a long pass to Gawley, which worked out. Here is Gray. Back to Carroll. Gawley, Smith. Gawley once again. Has Gabel up ahead. Decides against it for now. Doing well there was Winch. Very clever interception with the pass. Wasn't on the same page as Daniel. Won't matter in the end. No goal's going to come from it. So a little reprieve there for Yay right at the end of the quarter. So it's Naomi Hargraves in the centre for the final quarter with a centre pass, and waste no time coming out to Smith. Here is Gray at wing defence. Good start. Gawley, who's moved into wing attack, and Gabel, who scored goals all day, puts through another. And just like that, Belgrave with an early one of the last quarter, 47 to 26. So once again, out of the centre they go. Hargraves did nicely and affected it well enough to get it down to Gray. Carroll did nicely. Hargraves once again involved. Gray, good long pass here to Gawley. Pops it over the top to Hargraves. Smith and Gabel. And this can make it 22 goals of difference, but it's knocked away by Daniel. So all the way back on this occasion to Gawley, through the hands momentarily. So they work it around. Hargraves just palms it off there to Smith, who palms it off to Gabel. And puts it through for another goal, make it 22 goals the difference, 48 to 26. And once again back in the centre, so Hargraves. Gawley pops it over the top nicely. This will work out fine to Smith, and she finds Gabel. And this should be another goal coming up for Belgrave, and it is 49 to 26. So Tilson out of the centre. Spagnolo. Elders did nicely. Found Christie, who can't quite get the first goal in the last 4. Yay. But Elders finds it. There we go, back to 22, 27 to 49. Lateral pass there from Hargraves to Gawley. Smith. Affected nicely by Daniel, but it's going to come back. And here is Gabel once again, who can get it back to 23 goals of difference, but Cronk did well on the last line. Here is Cox. Laterally, and took too long. There we go, disappointing result there for Yay. Gawley. Gabel had plenty of room. And this should make it 23 goals of difference, 50 to 27. So once again, we're back in the centre. Tilson did nicely. Alders. Back to Spagnolo. Here is Christie in good position. And Christie doesn't quite put it through, but once again, Alders there to mop up and puts it through, 50 to 28. So back in the centre once again for Hargraves. Gawley did well, gets it back from Smith. Now looks for Gabel and finds it. And Gabel makes it 23 goals the difference once again, 51 to 28 the score. So back in the centre once again. Pass comes back to Cox. Daniel. Spagnolo can go back to Daniel. Eventually does just that. Daniel. Nice weighted pass there to Tilson. Alders. All the way across to Spagnolo again. Christie kept it in. Once again Spagnolo. And here is Alders, who can get it back to 22 goals. And she does just that. 51 to 29 the score. Gawley, pass slightly affected, but Smith made it work. Gabel had it knocked away. So Smith once again just comes back with a short pass, and that works out just fine. Here is Gabel once again, and doesn't quite get it out to 23 goals. She does have another opportunity though, and this time knocked away by Daniel. So Smith, a couple of 1-2s there with Hargraves, and now Smith doesn't quite make it work, and in the end it ends up at the hands of Cox. Here is Tilson, fires in a bullet, works out well to Spagnolo. Alders presented nicely, and just received some contact on the way through, so Spagnolo wastes no time. Tilson finds Christie. And Christie finishes off a good bit of play there from the Tigers. Back-to-back goals, back to 21 goals of difference. 30 to 51. And out of the centre they go. Christie once again got it from Tilson. Short pass to Spagnolo. Centres the ball and it's through the hands. And Gray did well. Eventually gets it away to Gabel. Gabel, Gray. Gabel. Hargraves. That pass works out just fine there to Gawley. Hargraves through the hands of Christina Gabel this time. And eventually they get it under their control. So this should work out in the end, and it does. Gabel puts it through back to 22 goals of difference. 30 to 52. So Hargraves to Smith. On to Gawley, and now Gabel. And just like that, back to 23 goals of difference. Pass affected Christie. Got to keep it in play. Eventually she does just that. Fires off the pass nicely to Spagnolo. Now Alders. Puts it up and puts it through. Back to 22 goals of difference, 31 to 53. Pops it over the top. This will work out just fine. Spagnolo, wasn't Spagnolo, sorry, it was Gawley. Gawley gets it back from Hargraves. Smith doesn't go to Gabel. Oh, and it's a turnover straight to Tilson. And they're on the counter-attack. Christie gets it from Spagnolo. Alders, Cox. Spagnolo once again. Cox again. Can reload them. Spagnolo puts it up and Alders with the best position there can once again get this back to 21 goals, and she does just that, 53 to 32. Christie worked out in the end to Spagnolo. Lateral pass is a dangerous one, and Hargraves tracks it down. Carroll, good one to Dave, who had plenty of room. Now Smith back to Gray it was, and is that kept in play? Yes, it was, said the umpire. And no, it wasn't in the end, so this will come back for Cronk. Has Cox up ahead, eventually decides to go for Cox. That ball going to go out of play, and it was off the hand of Smith. Smith not happy about the decision. Definitely came off the hand, though. Daniel, Cox, Cronk. Eventually makes it work out to Daniel. Christie. Short pass works out okay. Cox. Once again with ball in hand. Finds Spagnolo. And again it comes back. So Carroll does nicely. They work it around for the moment. Gray. Short pass. And here is Gabel. Got it from Smith. And Smith puts it through. Back to 22 goals of difference. 54 to 32. Smith does nicely to Gawley. Gabel. Clever bit of play in that. Just a little pass into the post and able to gain a metre or two. Christina Gabel gets it back to 23 goals of difference. Spagnolo once again laterally to Tilson. Alders, Cox, Spagnolo. Plenty of players calling for it. Cox once again. Long pass, but straight back to Gabel, and they're on the counter-attack once more. Gray, Carroll, another long pass, good one to Gawley, and here is Smith. Won't have the shot at goal. Centres it to Gabel, and there it is, new biggest lead of the game. 24 goals the difference, 56 to 32. Now Hargraves in the centre. Smith had plenty of room. All the way back to Hargraves. Pass was slightly affected there. Hargraves once again to Smith. Might line up for goal this time. She does. And now Gabel makes it 25 goals the difference, 57 to 32. So we come back into the centre once more. Christie got it from Tilson. Spagnolo. Long pass, good one to Alders. Christie once again had it knocked away. So Christie back to Tilson. Now Alders. Whose hand was that off? Was off Alders, so it comes back to Gabel, who has Carroll over the top, works out just fine. Hargraves had plenty of room. Another good one to Gawley, onto Smith. Looks for Gawley once again, but in the end decided Smith was the better option. Not Smith, sorry. This is Smith now. Hargraves, in fact, and Smith puts it through. 26 goals the difference. 58 to 32. So once again, Hargraves, Smith, Gawley. Cox just couldn't quite take it away, and now Gabel can make it 27 goals the difference. 59 to 32. So back in the centre, Toulson, Spagnolo, Alders. Puts it up for Christie, but it won't work out. Carroll got back nicely. Gabel, Carroll once again involved. Has Gray to the other side. It does work out in the end. Smith was the long option. Carroll, Gawley. Gabel being double teamed, comes through Smith, and now Gabel, not with the first attempt, but with the second, makes it 28 goals the difference, 60 to 32. So back in the centre once again, this will work out just fine. Smith from Hargraves, back to Smith, that time from Gawley. Hargraves once again involved, now Gabel. And that's a 29 goal difference, 61 to 32. So back in the centre once again, Toulson laterally to Daniel. Toulson, long pass this time. Christie did well. Lateral pass works out in the end to Toulson, who assesses the options, thought about Spagnolo. Christie's got to keep it in play. Does just that. That pass, though, not going to work out. And Carroll on the end of it, knocked away once again. So Christie decides to come back to Spagnolo, then back to Christie. Looks at Alders, who eventually gets it under her control and can potentially get it back to 28 goals. No, can't do so. So Gabel cuts it off, finds Hargraves. Laterally back to Gabel, now Gray. Gabel again. Long pass up the court, works out fine to Carroll, inboard to Gray. Pops it over the top to Hargraves, but Toulson all over that one. Finds Alders, and Christie gets out the back. And can possibly get it back to 28 goals. And missed opportunity there for the Tigers, so a little reprieve there for the the Belgrave defence, in fact. So Gabel once again has Carroll, made it work in the end. Another long pass this time to Hargraves. Comes inboard, nice one to Smith, back to Hargraves. Smith can make this 30 goals the difference, and that she does, 62 to 32. So once again, off the hand of Cox, and it's going to stay with Belgrave. So this is Gawley. Comes inboard to Smith, Hargraves, and Smith once again lines them up and eventually drops in. There we go, 31 goals the difference, 63 to 32. And once again back in the centre, so this is Toulson, who's done it most of the day for Yea. So this is Daniel. Good pass, that works out in the end. Alders back to Toulson. And Christie eventually gets it to Alders, who can't find the goal with the first attempt, but does get it with the second, so back to 30 goals. 63 to 33. So once again, Smith, Gawley and Smith. Smith for a third time in this passage. Looked for Gabel. Cronk knocked it away. But in the end, it comes back for Gabel, who can possibly put through another goal. Daniel just knocks it away momentarily. Hargraves, Smith, Hargraves again. Puts it up. Daniel again knocks it away. And eventually it finds its way to Gabel. But he puts through another goal, gets it back to 31 goals the difference, 64 to 33. So once again, Toulson in the centre. It's a dangerous one, and bit of confusion there in the end. Long pass is a good one. Cox affected it nicely. Found Christie. Comes back to Cox. Christie again. Spagnolo. Alders puts it up and just knocked away there by Carroll. So Christie just comes back to Spagnolo. Now Alders. Puts that one through back to 30 goals, 64-34. Latter parts of this final quarter in the match of the round. So Hargraves once again. Daniel faked and then eventually found Cox. Then comes back to Daniel. Good one to Christie. Laterally back to Cox. Spagnolo. Christie had a bit of room. Spagnolo again. Christie again. Looking for Alders. He just received a bit of contact. So chance for another goal here for Yay, and Alders puts it through. Gets it back to 29 goals the difference. And that'll do us in the match of the round. Division 1B grade netball. Final scores, Belgrave 64. Doing it fairly easily over Yay 35.